Hello folks, welcome back to another one of my off-grid motorhome project videos. Now, a year ago I installed a diesel heater in here, and I must say I wouldn't be without it. They're a fantastic bit of kit. I ripped out the propane, that was crap, and this diesel heater has just been superb. It warms up the whole of the motorhome, 5 kilowatts, brilliant. Originally I positioned the main burner unit under the seating area here, and I also positioned a small 10 litre fuel tank here. Now I find I want to use the storage for something different, for another little project which I'll show you in an upcoming video. So to start off with, all this needs to come out. And this is what I'm left with, the burner and fuel tank. It goes right through to the storage underneath, which runs front to back. So I've decided I'll open up the flooring under the seating to give me more access to that area. And this is what I'm left with. And I'm going to position the burner at the front by the door, and I've got a new fuel tank. I'm replacing the old 10 litre with this 25 litre marine tank. So this is the tank that I'll be using. It's really designed to go in a motorboat or dinghy, so it's a marine fuel tank, and it's nice and slim, so it'll fit underneath in the storage department. The fill valve here has also got a one-way vent valve on the top, and it's also got a filling point, but it's a detachable one by a quick release valve, so that's going to enable me to pull the tank out, fill it, put it back and clip the fuel line back in. As well as that, it's got a fuel level gauge on it. I suppose that's fairly handy, and the pickup pipe itself goes down to the bottom and has got its own coarse filter on. So for my use, I think this is going to be ideal in that situation and really upgrade my system. I haven't gone for piping into my diesel tank, and I've deliberately done that. One, because this is a Ducato, Fiat Ducato, and the fuel tank in it has got a built-in fuel pump. It's a really quite a delicate job taking it out, getting the exact pickup kit for it, etc, etc, and you can muck it up. So I decided against that. I also decided against tapping into the fuel line where it goes to the engine, because it's got an inbuilt pump. That pump pressurizes the fuel line, and it'll be far too great for the little diesel pump. It'll probably push past the seals and one-way valves, and it'll muck it up. Not only that, there's a good chance I can use red diesel, so obviously I need a separate tank. So all in all, I think this is the best choice. Now I've cut out some ply, and it was quite fiddly because it's a funny shape underneath, but all in all I got it finished, and the final result is I've got two compartments, one for the fuel tank and one for the burner unit, and above it here you can see the access, and I just used 6mm ply with 20mm battens screwed down and glued, and then above it I've put like a cover on so that I can remove it and I can work on the actual burner unit from above. Now, positioning the burner unit, it's going in about here, and I marked the centre line for the exhaust and fuel inlet and air out, and also the centre line for the fresh air in. Because I'm going through the body of the motorhome and it's sandwiched between a layer of foam insulation, I'm going to put this spigot. Now this is just like a pipe ducting flange with a spigot on it, and this will hopefully sit through, and the insulation will be here, and be protected from the heat from the exhaust. What I've done as well, I've taken a bit of the old insulation and tested it with some fire resistant silicone so that I seal it, and I've left it for a good week or so now to see if it has any reaction with the foam, and it hasn't. So where I drill through afterwards, I'll seal all around the hole and then put this in position, and then I've got a fireproof, heat-proof seal for the actual body of the burner to sit on. So that's everything prepared now, all the boxing done, all the holes cut. This is the air inlet hole, so I'll seal that off, give it a good coat of silicone, and then there's the main hole for that the spigot's going through. I'll seal that, and I'm doubly sure then that it's fully waterproof and of course heat proof. I put another lump of silicone on the turret itself on the underside, and I've stuck it down with that. I've bedded it in the silicone itself, and that's it. Let it dry off and it's ready to go. You can get another thing, a purpose-made turret they call it, but the hole diameter is only 100mm, which makes all the pipework really tight. Now for the air inlet, I decided to use it's like a bug gauze, a mesh, and I've put this either side of that hole, so there's no chance of any bugs getting into the burner unit itself. And that's it, it's all ready for the burner unit to be fitted. Fuel tank section, burn unit section, the spigot through, and the air intake hole covered, and access from the top. So all I've got to do now is crack on and fit the burner. And I marked out through the base plate so I can pilot drill for the fixings. I've spray painted all the inside of this area with some heat proof paint as well, just in case. So I pilot hold, and I'm using these roof screws, M4 self tappers. So now's the time to dress up the heater unit and get it in place and get it screwed down. I've bought a extra long exhaust because where I want it to go underneath the van, there's a nice little area where I can fit the silencer just right. So I've extended this a bit. I've marked on my plate here the direction that this has got to go, so I'm looking at going that way, straight out. I'll have to feed this in and bend it about a bit to get it in place, but first I'm going to put a little bit of exhaust paste around the spigot here, so that will help seal it just in case there's any sort of problems with the exhaust clamping all the way round. And that's about the angle that I want it to leave the unit. It's important that you push this rigid tube down to meet the metal tube on the unit. Now when it comes to fitting the unit, I thought it'd be really difficult and tricky, but actually it was quite straightforward. The long exhaust didn't present too many problems, and a little bit of wiggling about, and it was in position. So I screwed it down to the base plate with them roof screws, and it's nice and firmly in position. Now I'm going to run the fuel supply to the pump. I've fitted the fuel line to this quick release connector that goes onto the fuel tank, and also fitted the inline fuel filter so that I can have it inside where the heater is, and I'll be able to see it if it's getting clogged up or anything like that. I must admit it never got clogged up before over this last year. So I'll position that there, and then when I want to refuel, I've got to just pull out a bit, disconnect here, and I can take the fuel tank out, fill it up, and then just come back and reconnect, push it in place. So that's the fuel line from the tank, and this is the fuel line into the burner. I'm going to position the pump along this board, but for the moment I've just got it hanging because I want to experiment with positioning, because these do tick quite a bit. In the meantime, I've connected up the air ducting on the outlet of the burner, runs up into the habitation area, and all I've got to do now is just finish off by putting the box in on top. Now I've put the fuse back in, I've powered the unit up, primed the pump and got it all running, and I'm going to set it at maximum hertz, which is 5.5, and I'm going to run that for 15 or 20 minutes, and I want to take some temperatures of everything to make sure that there's no chance of overheating. Now I've got a couple of temperature probes and I've put them inside the warm air duct outlet, just to get an idea, and they're both reading around about the 90 degrees C, warm air coming out of the burner. Because I've got this wooden lid on top of the compartment, I think I should test out the temperature really, and see what it is at maximum. It's coming out at 28. You can hardly feel that sort of temperature. And again, on maximum, if I test the body of the heater, that's 17. If I test right at the front where the heat's coming out, the body's only 45. The back wall is 21. So I think that compartment is more than adequate for the temperatures that it's liable to get. The final test I want to do is check the carbon monoxide levels of the exhaust using one of these meters. The unit itself is running at maximum burn, so it's the richest that it will be, and if I put the meter down directly in the path of the exhaust, so it's blowing maximum fan straight out at the carbon monoxide tester. If I hold it there, getting 83 parts per million. That's a very, very good reading. That means it's burning the fuel just about as clean as you can get. So I'm very happy with that. Well, I think that's just about it now. So I've just got to lock up the compartment for the burner. I've finished off the ducting. I've just got it run to one outlet that's below the seats here. So I'll tidy these up. Job done. Well, there we go. A very successful upgrade, I think. I couldn't have done it all by myself. In fact, I owe a lot of it to my subscribers, you folks, for the comments you've left. When I done the first video on installing this heater, I got a lot of comments, a lot of advice, a lot of tips, some good, some bad. But what it's done, it's enabled me to do this upgrade, and I think this will be successful. That tank is a very, very good addition to the system. So all in all, I'm pleased, and thank you. hopefully you've got something out of this video. If you're thinking of doing the same thing, it's really a straightforward DIY project, so don't be afraid of attacking it. Just do it step by step like I did, really. And that's about it, folks. So until next time, please take care of yourself. Mine, there you go. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.